Hi, it's Joanne. So we're watching Squid Game Season 3, Episode 1, Keys and Knives. Squid Game is back. I'm so stressed. This is the final season of the original Squid Game, of the official Squid Game. I heard, I think they're doing, random spin-offs and other versions. I don't know. I haven't read too much into it. But this show is brutal, it is brilliant, and it is going to be a stressful ride. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions on my Patreon. 2 weeks in advance, edited version 1 week in advance. So for this, obviously I'm going to be getting them up. When you watch this on YouTube, the first 3 will be up unedited on Patreon, and then they'll be up once a week on YouTube. The first 2 will be up unedited, edited on Patreon, and then once a week, and then on YouTube this 1 week. It makes sense, I'm sure, in my head. It's very hot. Let's go. This is the dad of the little girl, right? And is this the one we've been following? Did she just kill him? She did not do a fatal shot for once. So I am so perplexed about the person we know, because she is able to murder people cold-blooded, just do it. But was she stopping the people doing the organ transfers not because she was like, that's not the rules, we just have to murder people, murdering is fun? Was it more because it was like, you're taking advantage of these people who are already being exploited, I don't have any choice, I need the money? Like, I'm intrigued if we're going to learn more about what drives her, and this could be a good indication of that. But how's she getting him out alive? I wonder if this plan could have worked if the frontman wasn't in on it. Is she gonna murder them all to get him out? Is this them returning Jian, like he's not dead? Are they returning him in a coffin? Sure you did. Did your best. Yeah, nothing changed. Just more violence, but you tried. He was dead in here anyway. At least you tried to get out. And the money goes up. To be grinning at the death just tells you everything you need to know about that person. It's one thing if you're there and they're still letting them vote. I mean, the yeses are gonna win 1,000 times, but it's one thing to vote because you think, well, if I leave here, I'll die anyway. My life won't be worth living. I'm really sorry you have to die. It's still a shitty, selfish thing to do, but it's another thing to then grin at the sight of the death. Oh, sadistic bastards, that's why. Still got blood on his hands, little bitch. So did he send him specifically to save his brother? Like, he knew he'd shot him, he knew where the currents would take him, so go find him. But he's reached the point. Fuck. So he did get him to save his brother, and now... Let's do it for him, you know what his vote is. He's handcuffed, so he couldn't vote even if he wanted to. Oh, good. She's gonna kill you. Oh yeah. Looking at him, he definitely, it was all part of his plan. The only person for show was the other little bitch. You were gonna win the vote anyway because you'd already murdered people, you little monsters. What do you think's gonna happen when you leave here then, woman? Yes, that is how trauma operates, actually. called having a soul. You can't relate. You taunt a man on the edge and then you're surprised when he snaps? I don't love it, but you taunt a man on the edge and you're surprised. Like, you're reveling in death and you're surprised when someone lashes out in response. I'm very worried about him. Running out. I don't think she's surviving this.
조금이라도 드셔요. 예?
I don't think she'll survive either. She's too good.
죄송해. 다 대호 씨 때문인데. 나도
can't.
보고 엄마도 보고 여기 있는 사람들 다 봤어요.
Trauma responses no one can
대호 씨가
predict.
한창 챙겨서 나가려다가
산 사람은 살아야죠. 안 그래요? 꼭 챙겨드.
Well, but he's just heard who fucked up the plan. And he's eating quite happily, but no one knows how they're going to react under pressure, even if they've previously been under pressure.
빠졌을 때 구해줬다 그랬지?
How did he know where you were?
어떤 섬에서
Can we use Captain Park to find the right island somehow?
그때 절 구해서
뭐 다른 거 기억나는 건
This guy's not as stupid as he
네, 깨어났을
seems.
땐 병원이었고 박 선장님이 드론 기사 실종이랑
Yes.
관계가 있다고 생각하시는 거예요?
근데 그 박 선장 그 사람 뭔가 좀 껄쩍지근한 데가
제 생명의 은인이고
How did he magically
지난 몇
find
년간 그
you?
섬 찾는 걸 도와주신 분이에요.
And have you ever found the
지금도
island?
우리 도와주고 있고요.
나도 알사를 어떻게 했다 뭐 생각하는 게 아니고 그냥 좀 느낌이
But hopefully, at the very least,
드론 기사랑
this will be in the back of his head going forward. He'll be suspicious. I don't like this because I feel like Jian's gonna intentionally try and kill him. I thought something like that might happen as a display of dominance. But not everyone's up there. I mean, I know some of them were just burnt, but... Okay, so no, red team's gonna win. Unless they just keep him alive regardless of the result of his team every time as a lesson. They're like, yeah, your team lost, but you don't get to die. You're a winner of a previous game. Fuck you.
30분 내에 찾아내서 죽이면 통과입니다.
죽이라고요?
그렇습니다. 빨간 팀은 파란 팀을
Jesus Christ.
찾아내서
I wonder, would they have done this, like, if there hadn't already been as much violence, like, player-on-player violence, would they have still done this? Because I don't think, until the very final Squid Game, there was any, like, intentional murdering each other in the original Squid Game that we saw. Like, maybe if they find you, then a masked dude comes out and bang. But... Jesus. You really have to sell your soul if you want to live. So no one is safe on either team.
그래서
Oh
빨간
my
팀
God.
여러분께도 작은 선물을 준비했습니다.
Just when you think it can't
상자를
get more
열어서
twisted, this game
확인해 주시길
exists.
바랍니다.
Oh, lovely.
있는 분이 계시면 게임이 시작되기 전에
Ooh.
상대팀과 역할을
바꿀 수 있다고?
그렇습니다.
So fair, isn't it?
상호 합의가 엄격히 금지됩니다.
God.
부디 신중하게
It's like, could you
선택하시길
kill?
바랍니다.
Or, like, are you capable of it? Or do you think your best shot is just running for the hills and hiding? I don't know. I mean, I don't think I could kill. Maybe if my life was on the line, I think everybody's capable of it.
무슨 소리예요?
내가 여기서 뭐 좀 알아볼 게 있어.
Is he looking into the captain?
설마 아직
눈으로 보는 것이 아니야. 전지신명께서
When you're desperate, you turn to whatever faith you can.
이끌어주신다.
정말 쥐새끼 마냥 숨어가지고 구경한 거야?
All that coming out would have done is
너를 존나 좋아하더만.
got him killed.
넌 사람 죽이는 게 쉬워?
It shouldn't be.
나는
그 돈만 가지고 갈 수 있으면 여기 있는 사람 다 죽일 수 있어.
이 아이 지키려면 나도 뭐든지
And
할 수
the
있어.
money.
네가 나를 죽여. 게임 시작되면 너 찾아갈 테니까 그 칼로 나 찌르고 너 여기서 나가.
내가 할게.
They just both want to protect each other from killing.
저 혹시 저랑
Oh no, he has someone on his hit list. He's not the real person you're angry at. In the words of Hamish Abernathy, remember who the real enemy is.
까지 이겼어요. 우리 어차피 못 이겼다고요.
He isn't wrong. He's not the one at fault. You don't have to be his best friend. You don't have to hang out with him all the time and protect him, but he's not the real person you're angry at.
그때 저기 때문이야. 당신이 말한 그 말도 안 되는 작전 때문에 다 죽은 거야. 당신이 죽인 거야. 당신이 죽인 거라고 이 씨발.
It's easier to be angry at each other than you can actually reach. Then face what you feel potential guilt for yourself, for Jihan. Blaming yourself. No, you do realize she wants you with her so that when you get found by red team people, you will die and she can run away while you're being killed, right?
내가 지켜줄게.
She's gonna die.
네 아버지가 맨날 술 처먹고 근데 내가 여기서 죽었어? 어? 거기다가 난 비상실 이 무기도 있잖여. 그러니까 내 걱정 말고 너만 약속 지켜.
Oof. So his offer to her that he would die for her was enough to convince her. Was that the real reason he said it, or was he genuine? Is this a song that you actually sing in South Korea when they play hide and seek? Oh.
괜찮아.
할머니, 주리 씨. 저랑 같이 가요.
This isn't gonna end, like, obviously the show's gonna, I feel like this entire show is going to have a tragic end. I don't think it's gonna end with us heroically stopping the Squid Games.
같이 뭐
I'm not ready for this. I'm very worried about you right now. I feel like this game was almost designed entirely to break. But who is he saying that to? Himself? The dude he was talking to, who he does blame because he didn't bring them the magazines? The head person? That honestly felt longer than like an hour. That felt like 7 hours of episode. Oh my god. Okay, like I've been recording for 53 minutes. I swear it's been longer than that. I'm incredibly stressed about the next game. I actually had a text earlier from one of my friends who is watching Squid Game, and he just, how did he phrase it? Let me find the exact phrasing of his text. No spoilers, but it was, second episode of Squid was horrific. I was expecting them to be horrific, so you know, now I'm like, oh goody, looking forward to this. Okay. Jihan being in this awful mental state is no surprise to me. I feel like, I mean, I don't feel like, we know they kept him alive to break him. The entire purpose of him being back in the games, them allowing it, has been to break him, to break his worldview, to break his, idealism isn't quite the right word, but you know, like his belief that people are good. Like, I feel like so much of this, potentially even the voting system, is almost to prove to him that he is wrong. People will vote, people will be selfish. Even though, like I said, I'm not like, oh my god, people who voted to stay, don't you worry, there's nothing wrong. But I'm also empathetic with the fact that the vast majority of them are just desperate people who think, well, I'm going to die here or I'm going to die there. And they think it's going to be worse to die there than a quick bullet to the brain here or whatever. I mean, it doesn't make them good people. It doesn't mean they're making good choices, but they aren't the true enemy. The capitalists, sorry. The game people running the games are the real enemy. And I will use, I feel like I've used that phrase before on the show, and I will continue to use that phrase because it is true. You know, Jihan can look at the ex-marine who had a panic attack, couldn't do it, couldn't risk his life in the end, and blame him. And like, yes, it is true. He failed them. He did mean that the mission wasn't successful. But there is no guarantee that those extra bullets would have done a thing. We as the audience have the extra knowledge that they would have known they were coming, but regardless of that, like, there's no guarantee that the extra bullets would have made a difference. And so, but being angry at him, even if they would have, you can't fault someone for their panic response, for their fight or flight taking over. No one knows exactly how they're going to respond. And, you know, I've heard people say maybe he was faking being a Marine, who knows? But even if you've been in that kind of situation before, you don't know how you will respond a second time. PTSD, all sorts of things. And then the guy isn't necessarily wrong. There is a chance that had the Reds, the Crosses, fought back when the attack came, had Jihan's group rallied all of them together to defend themselves, had they attacked the other side, there's a chance that they would have won the vote to leave this time. But it's still only a chance, and it would have involved death too. It would have involved, some of them would have died fighting. It would have involved them becoming killers. You know, there wasn't a good answer to the scenario. And so you can blame Jihan, you can blame the guy that didn't bring the magazines, but neither of them are really at fault, and neither of them are the real enemy. And that is the rich fucks who are controlling all of this. I am concerned about where Jihan's head is at, because I wouldn't, like, if he is just planning to go in here and hunt down the person he blames, I don't blame him. I'm not going to be like, woo, you go, great decisions, but I don't blame him because of everything he's been through and how his brain has been affected, the grief, the trauma, the guilt, the refusal to accept that there is guilt, so you've got to blame somebody else. And he can't get at the person who's actually responsible for this. All he can do is maybe target the person that had a hand in what happened, but because he couldn't do it, not because he didn't come back and go, hey guys, they think I'm getting them back up and magazines, lol, aren't they stupid? I'm gonna have a nap, you alright? You know, he panicked. And yes, he then ate a nice meal and had a good night's sleep, and it didn't keep him up, but he didn't do it maliciously. He did it out of weakness, and you can't help being weak. If you, like, I don't think I would be strong in that situation either. I wouldn't have been strong enough to have gone with them in the first place, but if you're gonna hunt anybody down, it should be one of the people with a blue circle on their chest. Again, I don't really think you should be hunting anybody, but in this case, they've actually put them in this scenario where they have no choice. If they want to live, you're going to have to take another life. And if I could bring up the Hunger Games again, brilliant series. Like, if you've never not engaged in the Hunger Games, not read it, I would read the books first, but if you don't like reading, not watched it, because you think it's just YA, don't. It is so much more than that. It is a dystopian mind, just, it's so good. Like, if you enjoy Squid Game, you would enjoy the Hunger Games. I fully stand by that. They're very different, but they have very similar kind of moral lines or messages, or, like, you know, kind of ways to look at the world. But somebody in the Hunger Games says something about how when it comes to the Hunger Games, he doesn't want to be a piece in their games. And the person he's talking to, I don't know why I'm trying to not spoil this book that came out forever ago, but I'm trying. The person he's talking to says, is thinking, well, you are a piece in the games, you're literally being sent to the games to die. But they're like, oh, so you won't kill anyone? And he says, no, I think when the time came to it, to save my own life, I probably would kill someone, but I'm not going to let them change who I am. And I feel like that is something that you can almost put into this specific scenario of, maybe you're going to have to kill someone to save your own life. It's up to you if you think you can. I mean, this is a slightly different scenario, but it's kind of similar in the Hunger Games. Like, in this, they are hunting down people, whereas in the Hunger Games, you don't actually have to. You could just hide and kill someone in self-defense. But you can view it as that. But what's happening with Jihan is potentially he is being changed. They are changing who he is. In season 1, in a lot of ways, they changed who he was. Not like they changed him for the better because it was trauma, but they made him reevaluate what was important, and they made him take on a cause bigger than himself, trying to help other people. Whereas when we first met him, he was just barely getting by, scrabbling to look after himself. At this point, I'm worried we're watching him change in the bad way, in the way that that character in the Hunger Games didn't want to change. And I really hope he remembers who the real enemy is. So again, if he wants to live, he has to kill somebody, which is such a horrific mind fuck of a concept. Oh my god. You know, if you think this game the Squid Games couldn't get more twisted, this game comes up. And I assume a version of this game existed the whole way through. Like, when they planned the Squid Games, they can't just come up with them the day before. But I do wonder if the killing themselves with the knives, etc., if that was a later addition done purely because of Jihan's presence, similar to the voting to stay and being allowed to have the money, like if you leave you get a percentage of the money that's left. How much of that was done in response to Jihan being here and to prove to him that the Squid Games are actually okay, or that people are just animals and monsters, and you know these people would die anyway on the streets, and now they're doing it here. Like, you know, how much of it was tainted, because it kind of reminds me in a sense of the marbles game, where you were up against someone in the marbles game, and if you won the marbles game, they would die. But in the marbles game, yes, we saw people ruthlessly tricking each other. People, you know, we saw people intentionally killing the other person by tricking them with winning the marbles game. But they didn't then have to stab them to death. They then walked away when someone shot them. And I could see a version of this game being designed where a red person simply catches a blue person and then they get escorted out and the blue person is shot and executed. That could be a version of this game that wouldn't involve the killing themselves. But in a response to Jihan's presence and his advocacy against the games and like everything that's been happening, have they made this game more ruthless and deadly as a result, or was it always designed to be this way? I don't know if that question will ever be answered. I am dreading the next episode because there are characters I care about, and you know they're not all going to make it through, and even the ones that do make it through are not going to be the same people they were even when they entered in. Freaking stressed. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and these reactions will be up once a week. Thank you so much for watching.